Welcome back to more Inquisitor. Ready for more dialogue. Oh man. This game has got lots of dialogue. Hello, knight. People say you come from Hillbrand. Tell me, is it true the orcs appeared there? The orcs our grannies used to tell us that they're fairylands. These orcs were supposed to rush from the cellar to chop us to pieces if it were bad. Yes, that's right. Orcs indeed appeared here. Then Guy, oh God, who's going to save us when even more monsters of legend appear from the realm must be in really bad shape. Don't lose face, soldier. Oh, it's another chick. Fuck my voice.
Knight, you must put an end to her evil doings. You cannot let her go free, and wait till she tries to bewitch me again. I have been resisting her successfully for the time of being, but who knows when that crazy wench really stumbles upon some working magic formula. After all, it is blatant heresy.
First of all, good man, tell me who you are. Oh, my bad. Christian. I thought it said Christina. Well, now he's got to sound like a girl.
Who am I? Haven't I introduced myself? Excuse me, I'm so angry that it muddles my mind. My name is Buchwelt, Hans Thomas Buchwelt. I work as a carpenter here in Glatzberg.
Wait a minute, what the fuck is going on? Hans Thomas Buchwelt, and the name says Christian Buchwelt. Christian Hans Thomas? Anyways.
You wouldn't imagine what a good living I can make, thanks to the scourges of God. Really, I'd rather do something else than mow and mow coffins, but what I count as how much I have already earned of them. I don't mind so much. It's a nice stack of gold by my troth, and she knows it very well, that treacherous old witch. That's why she's chosen me as her first victim. God is my witness. Were it not for a rosary my departed mother gave me at her deathbed, I would already be an obedient slave of that evil witch. Someone must stop her.
Who the hell are you talking about, and what happened to you?
Do you know Jeanette, the maid of Baron Edgar von Humph? She lives in the homestead near Glatzberg. I confess I liked her in the beginning. She seemed to be quite a girl, you know, almost mousy one, but still waters run deep. You can believe me. I don't know what devil sent me to that, but I talked to her several times when she did some shopping in the city market with Baroness Helen von Humph. Once after I mentioned how good things and times have brought me, she suddenly looked like she had awoken from sleep and started to be interested in me. I was glad, as I didn't recognize any bad intents in her, but, well, I was awfully mistaken. One day I invited her for a walk beyond the city walls to a place where the royal gazebo is, or rather what was left of it, and there it all happened.
What exactly do you have in mind?
I want to cuddle her, with honest intentions of course, but she pushed me away swiftly and laughed at me. She said I was a weakling and she wouldn't touch if only I hadn't saved up for quite a lot of gold, and that she does need it and she'll take it. This time I laughed at her and asked her how does she want to do that, but then she told it to me and suddenly it wasn't funny anymore. She told me she had found the secret magic formula which will help her to take control over my mind of any man, that she will enslave all men in the city, and we will blindly fulfill her every command.
Well?
And thereafter she started to recite some strange formulas in a language I didn't understand. I nearly passed out. There was only darkness. Everything was dark and muddy except Jeanette's fingers. She stood there and shined like the sun and noon, and I wanted to obey her every word, but then I fell down and struck my head. It awakened me, and in the same moment I had a knob stick in my hand to defend myself from the witch, but she ran away from me and I let her go, because I started to be really scared.
So you say she tried to bewitch you?
Right that night. What else could it be if not an intercourse with the dark forces? Thus I ask you as a paladin of the Brotherhood of Righteous to let justice take its course and prevent that witch tramp from going on with her machinations.
You're right, good man. Her wicked bluster must be put to an end. I'll take care of it. Let's try this one. To tell the truth, I'm in doubt, Buchwelt. Your story could happen to be a little different than you described to me. Maybe you tried to lay hands on Jeanette by force, and now you're afraid she will denounce you. In that case, nothing would help you better than accusing the girl of witchcraft. What do you think about that?
That's nonsense, Knight. Why would I do that? I admit Jeanette attracted me at first, but I'm not a rapist. Ask the people in the city. I would never take the liberty on any woman. I'm telling the truth, Knight. She's in the devil's hackney.
I'll investigate it first. If it didn't happen, like I indicated.
But this You don't really mean it, do you? I told you the truth, and now you slander me with God knows what crime? Justice is said to be blind, but this...
Be careful with your words to let out your mouth. And now you shall answer some questions.
Am I interrogated? So ask your questions, knight.
Who's the ruler of Glatzburg and the surrounding lands?
I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk about that with you.
Seldom have I the honor of talking to someone as clever and sharp as you, Brookwilt. I'm sure nobody would be able to provide me with a better founded answer. Your answer is necessary. If you will hesitate to answer, I'm sure it will bring you some very unpleasant consequences.
Grand Duke Robert Hedrick rules in Glatzburg, knight. He's the royal governor. His vice-governor is Duke Rowan van Lieren.
What monsters and hellspawns can people meet here in Glatzburg?
I personally think that the worst are brigands and highwaymen, who rage around Glatzburg and insult and kill everyone they meet. There's nothing they fear. They spare no one woman, children, old men, clerics, nobles. They rob and kill all. It's the most terrible in that self-appointed leader of them, Knight Bentley of Welshram. He's said to be a real monster, who's made cups from the skulls of people he's killed and now drinks human blood from them at feast.
Are there any myths or legends connected with Glatzburg or its surroundings?
Have you heard the legends of the pagan city Galbornium, knight? Not that all of them were legends, because most of them were what I'd like to tell you really happened, but it was so very long ago, that place near Glatzburg where a pagan city called Galbornium used to be. It was a proud and mighty city, maybe the largest in the whole Ficklin Peninsula, which then belonged to the Airborne. And of course, in the year 223, that city became the target of attack of faithful armies led by Saint Orthenius himself, who haven't heard about it after all. It was a really atrocious massacre. The pagans knew it was the end for them, with nowhere to run, so they defended themselves like rabid dogs, but it didn't help them anyways. They were captured, and the city burned to the ground.
Interesting. What happened then?
When all the bloodshed settled down, it was found out that there was no lodgings for many faithful people. Thus the nobles' clerics decided that a new town would be founded, and would be called Glatzburg. They decided to build the town in the ruins of Galbornium, and to use the stones of that pagan nest to build the town of Faithful. People set out to build, but they stopped almost before they started, because evil pagan ghosts and various demons overwhelmed the town. So the people went and founded Glatzburg at a place where it now stands, and Galbornium was left a ghost of the past, who have been guarding forgotten pagan treasures since then. At least, that's what people say.
That's all. Farewell. I'll come back and talk to you later if I need to. I'm going to go ahead and map out town here a little bit. Alright, that pretty much takes us out there. That's the edge of the screen, period. Emily Van Lieren.
Hello, Knight. What a nice day, don't you think?
May I know with whom I have the honor to speak?
We don't know each other. Oh, God. Excuse me. Such a rude infringement of etiquette. I forgot to introduce myself because I suppose we already know each other. I'm Duchess Emily Van Lieren, the wife of the royal vice-governor of the city, Duke Rowan Van Lieren. He's a very kind and wise man, you know.
An honor to meet you, Your Grace. Could I talk to you for a moment?
But of course you can talk to me, Knight. Sure, my husband won't mind. He's a very kind man.
What do you think about the crisis in the realms it's been dragged into?
What do I think about the current crisis? Oh, Knight, all those afflicting us are so terrible. I pray so much for all those things to be already behind us, and we could live like this before again. This isn't the end of the world after all, Knight, is it?
Of course it isn't, Your Grace.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
That's fucking pointless. Hello, Knight! I haven't had the honor of meeting you yet. I'm Duke von Rowan von Liren von, the Royal Von Governor of Vice Gon blah blah. Pleased to meet you, Duke. Fucking ruin that. My pleasure, Knight. What brings you here? You're a paladin of the Brotherhood of Righteous, aren't you? Is there anything I can help you with? I wanted to ask you the same thing, Duke. You seem to have a lot on your plate. What are you, like LPing 6 different games now? Ah, yes, I do. Are you offering me your help? That's very nice of you, Knight. I really appreciate that. It's just that I can't think of anything I could ask you to do. Nothing I'm dealing with now needs your help. There is a case of missing girls, but Master Dieter von Gilbendiel is looking into that. Kidnappings of young girls? Hubba hubba. What happened? Haven't you heard about that? A couple of young girls went missing in Glatzberg and its surroundings lately. Nobody's heard of them since there's no trace. People in the city are scared shitless because of such events nowadays. Usually mean that something dark and maybe even diabolic is going to happen. I hope Master Dieter von Gelbendiel, who's dealing with the case personally, will soon find the culprit and save the poor girls. If it is still possible. Isn't there anything else you need help with, Duke? No, I'm afraid not, Knight. I'm working on some complicated and dangerous tasks, but they concern the city treasury and taxing of business guild, in which I'm afraid you cannot help. More taxes for businessmen? That might cause a rebellion, don't you think? As far as I've heard, they've been taxed in a dozen of ways. You're right, Knight. There's income tax, turnover tax, import tax, transport tax, export tax, storage tax, sales tax, purchase tax, property tax, buttfuck tax. At least you can see what difficult task Grand Duke Hedrick gave me, but there's no way you can help me, Knight. I know something about taxes. How about introducing a tax? A tax? Not a bad idea. If somebody has the money to pay taxes, they will have the money to pay taxes from taxes, won't they? An excellent idea, Knight. Thank you. Now give me all your money. Are there any myths or legends connecting with Glatzberg or its surroundings? I personally don't care about legends. I'm more interested in the future and the ways we can influence it, but I wouldn't mind becoming an inspiration for a legend. Well, see. Who's the ruler of Glatzberg? Oh, shit. Unfortunately, Glatzberg is ruled by Grand Duke Robert Hedrick. God knows he doesn't deserve it. I mean, how long is it going to be before it takes true nature comes to light and the king stops him? Don't you trust Grand Duke Hedrick, Duke? First of all, I don't believe he's doing all that's in his might to improve the city. Maybe there's a reason, and maybe the reason is not quite legal. There are certain people who believe he's acting in his own interest rather than taking care of the city. That's what I wanted to point out, Knight. It seems that you are not really objecting that you're making these indirect accusations, Duke. No offense, but it'd be you who'd take up Grand Duke Hedrick's position if he were called off. I see where you're headed, Knight. It does look suspicious. A royal vice-governor accuses a royal governor of deleterious and neglecting his duties, and maybe even worse, but he probably wants his position, eh? Please, believe me that it's not so. Believe me that I only care about the welfare of this city. I saw its golden era, and the only thing I wish is to see it again. What do you think about the crisis the realm has been dragged into? Times are bad, that's true. I've never seen worse, but I still think Glatzberg and the whole Utherist is going to get over it soon, provided it's ruled by competent people who know something about ruling. What do you mean? Look around, Knight. The treasury of Glatzberg is empty. The Grand Duke Hedrick isn't doing anything to change it. Am I supposed to sit and watch what's happening around? It's vital we finish off the rogues and heretics. We need an army for that. Since we can't use the royal army, we must use the local militia. And such a militia must be recruited and armed. Is Grand Duke Hedrick doing anything like that? Fuck no! He's not! He just keeps saying that the people are poor and there's nothing to take from them. What a weakness. What monsters and hellspawns can people meet here in Glatzberg? The undead appear right in the streets of the city after it gets dark. Can you imagine it? Until now, we thought we were safe behind the city walls, and all of a sudden living corpses start coming out in the darkness. Fucking terrible. And what did our wise Grand Duke Hedrick do about it? Absolutely fucking nothing. Corpses rage in the street every night, and he doesn't do shit. And what do you suggest he should do, Duke? Who? Me? Well, I'd take steps. Stop their raging. Give orders. Destroy them. Strike against them. Uproot the evil. Headshots. Shit like that. Oh, yes. Sure. I'm looking for heretics here in Glatzberg. Do you suspect anyone?
I must admit that I have a suspicion, but I have no proof, so I'd rather not say anything.
If you have any suspicion, Duke, go ahead and tell me. It will just be between the two of us.
All right. I think I'd rather confide in you, Knight. You never know, you see. It's Grand Duke Edric. How is it possible that the property of his family has not been affected by the scourges of God? And why isn't he doing anything to improve the situation in the city? Because I don't believe he's doing everything in his might. I tell you what I think. I think he likes it that way. I think he has a contact with the devil, and he helps him ruin the kingdom of God on earth in exchange for riches. That's what I think.
Any evidence?
Unfortunately not.
Oh. Well, thank you anyways. Farewell.
Alright, let's keep exploring. We went into the church. The church is huge. There's probably a few other people we can talk to in there. But again, I'm just trying to map all this out. That's going to take us out. Side where we don't want to go. Just doing some searching in the debris. Why is there shit lying around all over the place? What the fuck? Yeah, I just lost my helmet. I'll leave it there. I don't give a fuck. Fuck it. I'm leaving it. Ain't mine. Was that target practice? Like target practice to me. Oh no! Too many bitches in this town.
Oh, Knight, I must confide to you immediately. I can't be silent about it anymore. Such horror. Please hear me out.
First tell me who you are, good woman.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot my manners. I'm Grand Duchess Julietta Hedrick, wife of Grand Duke Robert Hedrick, the royal governor of the city and liege of His Majesty King Edward II.
I'm honored to meet you, Grand Duchess. Now tell me what is on your heart.
I haven't known what to do for a long time, Knight. The sacrament of marriage is inviolable for me, and I don't want I should honor the love of my husband, but that's what I've witnessed. The faith leads us above all obedience to our Lord, doesn't it?
Exactly. Tell me then, what's the matter? What did you witness?
My husband has ever been a great man, wise, considerate, and careful. But ever since our marriage, he has had his secrets. At first I gave no weight to that, but every man has his own secrets, hasn't he? In time he started to be suspicious. He secretly disappeared from our house at night and returned only before dawn. When I sometimes asked him where he was, he denied it all, or came with some yarn. As a jealous woman, I gathered from it, he has a lover. I know I shouldn't do that, but I've had to find out who she was. I secretly searched his belongings, looked to his study, and checked contents of his pockets. I had to find some proof.
And did you find any?
No, Knight. In fact, yes, but not the one I was looking for. Once my husband was in his study writing something, he was all of a sudden called away to some important matter. He left the unfinished letter in his study, which he locked properly, not knowing I had secretly made a copy of the key. I entered the study and read the letter. Then I thought I would turn into a pillar of salt.
Really? What was in the letter?
My husband, whom I've always deemed an incorrupt man of high morals, wrote to the letter about preparation of some monstrous act that was to happen soon, and consisted of invoking, God forgive me, one of the 3 fallen angels.
Who was the letter addressed to?
It was intended for, what a horror night, Bentley of Welsham, yes, for that wanted murderer, a dreaded footpad, who has probably all the mortal sins that the Holy Scripture speaks of on his conscience.
Are you sure it was really your husband who wrote the letter? Couldn't somebody have slipped it there secretly?
Hardly, knight. It was written by his hand, in ink still wet. After all, you may see yourself I have the letter.
Well, really odd.
Yes, knight, it really is. I hope you understand my fear and concerns, and I hope God will forgive me for my faults because I have sinned against the sacrament of marriage.
Yes, he will surely forgive you. You atone for your sins by telling me about them. Your sins are a grave one, Grand Duchess. To free yourself of guilt, you have to donate to the Brotherhood of Righteous. That is, to me. 2,000 gold pieces for the fight with crime.
Certainly, knight. I'll readily pay if justice asks. Here is the gold. I'm glad I'm going to be free of the qualm at last. I've been agonizing so much.
You have to worry no more, Grand Duchess. I'm a dirty paladin.
I thank you once again, knight. I don't know what I'm going to do now, but I know my fate is in the hands of God. Perhaps it can all be explained somehow. If I'd show that my husband is a heretic, what dark days may have come upon us. And if I think the mere couple of years ago. I'm glad you've come to visit me. I don't know whom to confess to. What are you going to do now, I mean, with my husband? I fear to stay in his house.
If it shows he's guilty, he'll stand before court and answer for his deeds.
Oh God, it's a nightmare. I really wish I could wake up and find nothing of this has happened. I would give anything.
I'm really sorry, Grand Duchess, but the truth about your husband won't be uncovered until the case is fully investigated.
Yes, certainly. But even it's so horrible, I have to be strong.
Farewell, Grand Duchess.
Goodbye, knight. If you're ever passing by, be sure to visit me again.
You dirty son of a bitch. And due to a memory leak in the game, it is starting to become very choppy. Alright, did a quick reboot there, just to flush out the memory. Inquisitor is known to have a memory leak, so it gets even worse. If I'm not recording with fraps, I mean the game flies, but what's really odd about this game is recording with fraps takes up quadruple the amount of gigabytes that it is to record a session of Dishonored or XCOM, Enemy Unknown. Fucking don't ask me why. Doesn't make a lick of sense. Seems like the older the fucking game is, the worse job Fraps has of handling it, basically. Alright, so we've adventured around the town quite a bit here. We're starting to pick up on a lot of questicles again. I don't want to use the whole video, just dialogue. I'm trying to get a good mixture of both. Especially when we get to a huge town like this. We've unveiled a 90 percentile visage of the town here. We're going to go ahead and leave. We're just going to pick a random spot and go check it out for a couple minutes. Actually, I never really did go down here. Let's go ahead and investigate down here. There's probably a couple... And also we need to find out who takes the scalps, because my inventory's filled with the motherfuckers. Here's an asshole right here. All by himself. Seriously? Don't attack with the broken sword. Beat the dude's ass. With my mace of ever-ending darkness. Let's go to Gladsburg West, actually, and see if we can find the sheriff or whoever collects pad scalps. That'd be ideal. Again, I'm just going to walk around. We're going to check out the town and all the pretty graphics. I don't see how you don't love this shit. It's so reminiscent of like Baldur's Gate graphics. Look at this guy running toward me. Hello, Knight. I have a feeling I haven't seen you around yet. My name is Harp. What a beautiful day we have here, don't you think?
I'm glad to meet you, Shoulder. Nonetheless, I'm surprised you consider this day beautiful. If I consider the difficulties which these days bring, not only to the royal soldiers.
Maybe you're right. Anyway, and it's your opinion against mine. I think the day is beautiful as any. Of course, if you have enough gold to spend.
Do you really have enough gold? I thought the soldiers' pay in the royal army is not very high.
Well, you could find some spare gold in my pockets, Knight. If I want to borrow some, I'm sure we can make a deal. My interest rates are not very high.
What the fuck?
Well, let's say 1,500 gold pieces. Naturally, you'll repay me 2,000.
That's outrageous interest. Can we negotiate better terms of our trade? What if I accomplish a quest for you?
Interesting offer. Actually, I'm looking for someone to help me with one problem, but it's just for tough characters.
What would it be? Motherfucker, look at me. I'm as tough as it gets. I killed an ogre named Luglug one time.
Well, Knight, I've realized that even gold can't grant you all the earthly desires. One could think otherwise, but in fact it is not so. Some human desires just can't be satiated with gold. Let's say desire for women. Well, of course, you could say that there's a lot of loose women, but it's not exactly what one could have meant. They give themselves for a handful of coins, and for another they'll give you a few emotions, as in that song, you know. Well, but overpowering a woman who's not pretending anything and is fighting you with her last breath to protect her chastity, that's a different story.
I have a feeling that you want me to be asking to help you to take a woman by force. Agreed.
Well, maybe one could agree with what you've just said.
About whom are we talking?
About Baroness Helen von Humph, Knight. She's the source of my uncontrollable lust. I tried to seduce her, but she fiercely refused. Only fueled by the flame of passion in me by that. I must have her, no matter the cost. She must be mine. What the fuck? I'm not kidnapping anyone.
I cannot accept such a deal. Farewell.
Whatever, Knight. And I hope I don't have to remind you that this discussion never happened.
Yes, you don't, but I'm gonna torture you later. Ludwig. Damn villains, disgusting footpads, filthy scavengers, may the plague kill them. Treacherous scoundrels, what will I do now? Now when my precious goods are in the hands of mean criminals, what would the nobility of Alvaron think of me now? I can tell you, I think that of this kind of establishment is that they don't have any wine worthy of real aristocrats. What the god-forsaken Bacchum behind this. And I endeavored so much. It's cost me a fortune, and now it's gone because these sods who robbed and murdered on the royal roads. Hello, innkeeper. What's going on, and what's happened to you? Ah, forgive me, Knight. I didn't notice you. Welcome to King Edward's End. I'm Wintram, the innkeeper at your service. What can I do for you? Would you like to rent a room or maybe buy some food or drinks? To your heart's content. Every single one of our dishes is exquisite, as you're surely going to find out. Or maybe you want to buy or sell some goods. My shop is fully at your service. Maybe later, good man. But now tell me, why did you lament so much? What the fuck has happened to you? You want to know what's happened to me? Don't even ask, Knight. It's a terrible accident. It would cost me all the reputation I've been building for all my life for totally done. You know, I expect almost a royal visit from Alvaron. The first night Don Rodrigo de Velicor himself with his suite on gone to visit here in Glatzberg. And here's the house that should stay in the inn, am I right? Surely not in this lousy hole the snappish, hushy Wendell Galrich runs here. What an establishment would it be? Your valued guests would served what's common at the royal court. I mean, the best wine in the realm has to offer. And that is? Chateau de Trebuchet. A gem amongst all wines, but here in Glatzberg I haven't got a single fucking bottle. So I ordered the magnificent wine in Alvaron for an exorbitant price. But the disaster didn't keep me in waiting for long. As in usual, these dark days, footpads assaulted the fucking merchants carrying my fucking precious wine not far from the fucking town and fucking seized it. What am I gonna do now? What will I treat with such valued guests? Fuck! Surely I can serve them the slop that's called wine here. I have to get my Chateau de Trebuchet back no matter what. If the footpads took the wine, you probably wouldn't see it again. Doesn't seem such a terrible tragedy. Several stolen bottles of wine are only a minor loss indeed. When people are so easily lose all their belongings and even their lives, don't you think? Only a minor loss? How can you say that? You don't understand what's at stake. I've been building the reputation on the top end establishment for so long, and all of a sudden royal guests come, and I serve the local schlop instead of choice wine? What the fuck would they think of me? When it spreads abroad, and these things have always spread, I'll be done for. If the footpads took the wine, you probably won't see it again. Oh my god, what the fuck will I do? I'm done for, totally written off. You gotta help me, Knight. You must help me to get the wine. Don't despair, Innkeeper. Maybe it's possible to do something about that. I'll look around, and maybe I'll be lucky and run upon some Chateau de Trebuchet. Really? Holy sheep shit, that would be very nice of you, Knight. If you brought me several bottles of the gem amongst all the wines, I would be saved. Holy fuckstick, thank you, Knight. It's most noble of you. Of course, I'll give you as much as I can. Fucking assure you of that. We'll see what can be done. I don't doubt your effort will be successful, Knight. May I do something for you in return? Farewell. Farewell, Knight. But wait. I'm such a bonehead. Fuck my life. I have a letter for you. A letter? What letter? Just a letter, Knight. For you. Here it is. And it's really addressed to me. I've not been here in Glassberg for too long. You recently come to Hillbrant, haven't you? In that case, it's for you. Who gave you this letter? A messenger, Knight. He came here several days ago, gave me the letter, and told me you'd surely come here. And as you can see, fucker was right. Moreover, he told me you'd be waiting for the letter. Okay. Give me the fucking letter. Where's the letter from? How do I know? Do you think I read letters belonging to others? Moreover, it's sealed, as you can see. Alright, give me the fucking letter already. Jesus Christ. This letter has undoubtedly been written by an educated person. The richly decorated writing is proof of the education the author has been given. The letter says, Son, be extremely careful of who you trust in Glatsburg. The wolf is hiding in the lamb's skin and is ready to tear you apart if you are blind. Beware the clergyman. Sincerely, your friend. Alright, some freaky-ass letter from Grandpa Santa. I had to drop a few F-bombs in the Innkeeper. That was my dedication to George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones. I was feeling Game of Thrones-y. Even though he doesn't get that bad, but you've read the George R.R. Martin Song of Fire and Ice series, Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings, Storm of Swords, Dance of Dragons, Feast of Crows. Dude is good. Dude writes my kind of shit. Actually going to be taking a small break here in a bit to watch me some Walking Dead season premiere. You need to stop fucking up the show. I'm a huge fan of the original comics. I'm also shit. I guess I need to do episode 4 from Telltale Games. There's a footpad scalp. Who the fuck buys these scalps? I want to do it before the end of the video. There's a blacksmith. Probably missing his daughter. Hello, knights. My name's Hans von Jigme, and I'm a master armorer in the city. If you're looking for a armor, you came to the right place, believe me. I'll sell anything you can name, from knives to plate armor, and I also buy those things. Remember, my workshop here is the best around. Our family didn't gain the title of Baron for nothing. Baron title, you say? What did your ancestors gain it for? All their services to the realm, of course. The Jigmes rule the hammer and the steel since time immemorial, and nobody compares to us, except for the royal armorers in Alvaron, of course, since 745. When my ancestor Eugene Jigme settled here in Glatzburg. We've been supplying the first-class weapons and armor far and wide,
It was, however, my great-grandfather Bernhard von Jigme who gained the title of Baron for a plate armor made in the governor of the city, Grand Duke Gerald. It was powerful magical armor which saved the Grand Duke's life in many battles with the barbarian raiders. What you got? What the fuck? Just let me see your shit. You know, it's a complicated problem. My great-grandfather, thanks to whom Jigme now barons, became famous mainly thanks to a magic hammer made for Empire's friend Andre Giuliano Vestrinio, one for the most famous alchemist of the time. With that hammer, he could make armor and weapons with no other could measure. The problem is that when war with the barbarians started, my great-grandfather decided to go to that war. Before he went, he buried all his property, including the hammer, at an unknown place, and then he died as a hero in the Battle of the Halloweth Fields. And the hammer has been lost since. You know, Knight, I'm not a bad armorer. In fact, I'm one of the best in the realm, but I still can't make anything my great-grandfather could with his hammer. If I got hold of it, I could do great things. Yes, I see. You want me to find your great-grandfather's hammer, is that right? Exactly, Knight. I thought you could find the place where my great-grandfather's treasure was buried and bring me the hammer.
All right, I accept. I will try to find the place your great-grandfather has hidden his treasure.
Thank you, Knight. I knew we could come to some agreement, and now let's do business.
Yes, let's. Repair my broken shit! $146 gold. Whoop-de-doo. Repair that. Oh my god! Jesus. Baby Jesus. That just cost 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1,200 gold in repairs. Maybe I should get my blacksmithing up. Mein Gott. Where the fuck is the sheriff? Holy shit testicle. Well, this looks like the barracks. Pretty cool. Alright folks, guess we're gonna have to wait till next video. Find the sheriff of Nottingham to sell my scalps to. But I want to thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more Inquisitor. It'll be coming soon, later this week.